Alright, so welcome back to part 2, and I've actually enlarged the base. As you can see, I'm zooming out with my mouse wheel, so that is actually the base right there. And we actually have the actual rope here. So the thing is, we want to add some texture to it and some fur. Alright, so just come where it's saying shading here and new, so meaning it will bring you a new texture like this. And what I actually want to do is I actually got let's go into texture and rope. So I have this rope here. Apparently the thing is, I only like the displacement about this texture, so I'm only going to use the displacement, or you can actually use the rest of it. I'll put a link in the description part. I actually don't want to use it, but you can actually use it. So the thing is, I want to put this into the displacement here, but for me to do this I will need a displacement. So meaning I'll actually push Shift A on the keyboard for add, and I'll click here where it says search and search for displacement, which is here, and plug it here. So I'll plug the color to the height, and the height or the displacement will actually go to the displacement. And well, let me just actually switch. So I've changed the render settings to cycle, so I have it in cycles. And the other thing that I'm going to do is go where it says object here, change this to world, and you actually see these two nodes here. So push Shift A on the keyboard, where it says search, just search for the environment texture, bring it here and plug it in. So notice it will become pink in the first place, which it hasn't yet. Well, it has behind there. So you go where you've saved your HDRI images. If you don't have any HDRI image, you can actually get it at HDRI Heaven. They have a lot of HDRIs right there, so you can pick any HDRI that you want. I'll pick this one. This one will actually work for me. Somebody's playing some loud music. Can you please tell somebody to turn off the music? I apologize for that. And we change this to object going back. Okay, like that is just too loud. That is just a bit too loud. All right, thank you. Okay, so we have all this, so meaning, as you can see, because of our UV map, it follows the UV map that we actually have. So you can see the kind of a texture that we have. So we'll change the scale to something like 0.1, 0.1. That was a bit too much, and we'll just use that. If not possible, we can do, if it's too much, we can say 0.025. That will actually also work very well. All right, so let's move on. Let's go to the object, which is here, and we want to get now to the actual text. So wait, before I actually go too far, if I select everything here, let's actually come here, let's the cylinder, let's just turn it off. So if you notice, let's go into edit mode, which is here. So notice the thing is, when you look at this, you actually get only the vertices. So the idea is, let's come under texture and this screw here. Let's open this and let's apply this. So apparently I'm in the edit mode, so I can't do that. So let's go into object mode and take the screw and then apply it. Okay, that's good. So meaning everything is going according to plan. Let's actually go back to object mode, edit mode, and if we move close, we'll select a line like this one, double click on it. Depending on what you are using, I'm using the 3D emulator button, which if you go under edit, preferences, and under where it says add-ons, if you input, you tick where it says 3D emulator mouse and you actually get my controls. So I double click on this and then I'll right click and say mark sim, and then once I do that, I'll select the whole thing. I'll push A on the keyboard and notice I have this squashed stuff down here, which is not what we want. So what we'll do is let's zoom out and let's move up. Let's select the face. Let's go under face mode, select the face like this one, push A to select the whole, and then go under UV where it says UV on top here, and then follow active quads, and then it will ask you this and just say okay. So notice it will actually make them close to even. So if I come under where it says scale and select everything, I can actually scale them till they look a bit square. That's the idea here. I want them to look a bit square. Then let's go under move and just move them right there. All right, so let's go back and let's go back under viewport shading. It's taking a bit of some time. Well, my PC suffers for my privileges. So I will turn on the cylinder and we have that. So look at what we have. So we have this, which to some extent, well, it does look okay. Maybe I can change a couple of things. I can bring in maybe the normal map. Let's just drop in this. But for a normal map to work, we need a node and normal map. So let's go for a normal map and get it, plug it here, and then let's plug this to the color and normal to the normal. Okay, that will actually help. If you feel there's need to add a bump map, you can actually add a bump map. Just search for a bump map and drop it in between here and plug it into the height as well. That will actually help as well. Let's plug it in. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, so that's about the texturing. If you want to add a color, you can always get this color here and grab it, bring it in, drop it, and then plug it into the base color, and notice it will actually change this. Notice how it will look like. It actually looks brown now. And you can also get the roughness map. Just drag this. Oops, what's going on with my PC? Come and drop it in here, and and plug the color to the roughness. So notice the roughness will actually get controlled by this roughness. And which one else? The metallic is optional. The displacement has already been done. So yeah, so that's the thing. So if you don't like, personally I do not like this roughness, just unplug it. And what you can do is just pull it to pull it to something like 1 at the end. I don't like my rope to be very shiny. It doesn't look like it's actually appropriate, so the rope doesn't look like that, I think. So yeah, so I'll just delete this. So I think that actually works a bit. Let me just see the rope itself. So the thing is, now because of whatever UV map we have, we can actually rotate this thing. So you can push R and rotate it. So depending on what you have, you can scale it and whatever works for you. But at the end of it, my end result is this right here on the screen. So thank you, and catch me in part 3. Well, before I actually turn this down, just let's look for the right angle for the rope. I actually do not want this angle, so let's just rotate it a bit. Something like this. Let's try this. Let's go back. Zoom in. Alright, so the PC is taking its time. We should also take our time. So the idea is this: I do not want the actual texture, so let me get rid of the actual texture, get rid of the color. All I want is these inner lines that actually show there. Alright, that looks good. Let's go into the camera view, push 0 on your number pad. Oh, apparently we don't have a camera yet, so meaning we can just zoom in and out to something like this. We can add a camera in here, which is let's go camera, and say I like this view here. Control alternate 0 on the keyboard, and if you don't like the zooming in the way it is, you can always push G to move and alternate. Hold alternate and then click your left mouse button and then zoom out. Let's zoom out. Okay, so at this point you can render, but it looks good. It will look good, but in the next part let's add some fur. All right, catch me in the next video, which will be on the top right corner right here. If it's not, probably it's in the list down there. All right, bye bye.